Madam, myself, Durgadas Kamat, General Secretary of the Goa Forward Party. Government of Goa has petitioned the JERC for an increase of 6% tariff across the board. The wording of this petition makes one thing clear, that Government of Goa has proposed this hike and the JERC only approves it. In the past, BJP governments have claimed that JERC has imposed power tariffs on the common man, but now it's one more lie that has been nailed. It has been always the case that the government increased power tariff, proposes hike, and the JERC approves them based on the figures provided by the electricity department, which shows gaps in revenue to justify the hikes. It must be noted that in January 2022, when the JERC had approved the Goa Electricity Department's proposed tariff hike, the government had decided to freeze it. Why? Well, that was the question. Obviously, it was an election year, so that government refrained from increasing tariff hikes in the year 2022, only for votes. Now, the government has decided to burden the common man. Another point which is interesting, that the justification for the hike is based on the revenue gap shown by the electricity department. Page 19 of the petition clearly states that electricity department's accounts for the year 2019-20, 21-22 have not yet been audited, though they should have been submitted by November 2021. The petition dated 30th November promises that the audited accounts for the year would be submitted by 2012-2022. It would be interesting to know whether it has been done or not. In any case, the figures on which the tariff is based are on provisional actual numbers, and the term used and again in the petition, is this another way of saying that the hike is not based on actual numbers but the numbers that have been fabricated or fudged? Coming to the revenue gap, which is sought to be filled by the burdening the pockets of common men. That the electricity department has any measures in the recent past to investigate the reasons for the revenue gap. One obvious reason is the AT&C loss, aggregate technical and commercial loss, which denotes the amount of power generated or purchased, which does not reach the consumers and hence cannot be sold. Because it is a loss in either technical loss, meaning distribution losses because of poor quality, infrastructure, or commercial losses like theft of energy, inefficient billing methods, etc. The petition admits a transmission and distribution loss of 8.45%, which is very high for a state like Goa, having a very small size and practically even terrain. The Central Power Ministry's website shows an ATC loss of 13.39% for Goa. Compares this to 12.5 ATC loss of a state like Himachal Pradesh, whose area is 15 times the Goa, and which has extremely hilly terrains and ensures high distribution losses. This obviously means that government is making the common man pay for its own inefficiency and incompetency. At last, the proposed revenue gap recovery through the tariff hike for the financial year 23-24, which will come in effect from 1st April 23, is 134.96 crores. The budgetary support commitment from the government to remaining gap is around 3.48.69 crores. However, the electricity department, which should have been looking towards to be competent and efficient enough to bridge the revenue gap by improving its performance and financial capability, wants to now burden common Goiakars. We are convinced that consumers should not be burdened further in difficult times, and the JERC should compel the Goa Electricity Department to reduce its ATC loss percentage, which would bring down the budgetary support required from the government. We also demand that the figures put up by Electricity Department should be vetted by an independent authority. An independent authority should vet these figures because they have not audited the accounts, nothing. So that justification for the both tariff hike and budgetary support is checked for authenticity. Also, we would like to make a final point, madam, that in October 2018, then Power Minister had promised that there would be no power tariff hikes in Goa until and unless Government of Goa gives 24 hours power supply, which is not happening at the moment. There are power cuts across the states. We would also like to remind the Chief Engineer that he was present on a press conference on 14/1/2020 when the Power Minister reiterated his statement of 2018. So we would like to know what is the justification that the government is giving. At last, one important thing, Our party president had recently exposed an Niti Aayog report, which was submitted to the Honorable Chief Minister, but which was not shared with even with the media. In that, it's very interesting. You might have a copy of it. Niti Aayog report in November 2022 cautioned the Goa government over its high power tariff. In a document presented to CM, the Aayog also recommended reduction of ATC losses, which said it is high. So I would like to ask the SC department and the Goa government, does it not agree to the findings of the Niti Aayog, which is given by the top engine to the state engine? So, on behalf of Goa Forward Party, we strongly object. आम्ही मागतात की हे पावर टॅरिफ हायक करचे न्ही, बारीक लोकांचेर हाजेर पयलींच आता म्हारगाय वाडल्या, सगळे वाडिल्ले आसा. तुम्ही 24 hours सप्लाय दिवपाक अजूनही पावनात, जे तुम्हीच प्रॉमिस करतात. नीती आयोगाचो रिपोर्ट आसा, and we strongly object to this increase in power tariff until and unless infrastructure and other things are put in place. Thank you.